Yes.
Fire the missiles!
Yes, right? All right. Let's see. Guest overlay. We are good. Start recording. Close this. All right. Welcome to Horror Mixes Happy Live Chat number 28 with Mr. Cody Goodfellow. You have done a bunch of work. I chose Radiant Dawn, All Monster Action, Shameless, New Tomorrow, Vertical, but there was plenty more to pick from. How have you been? What have you been up to? We haven't talked to you in like 3 years.
Uh, yeah, God, 3 years.
Yes.
It's been 3 years.
That squashes it down to a terrifying singularity. But
Yeah.
yeah, the last few years I've just been writing books and trying to get some movies made, and I DJ and music
I
direct.
was just about to say DJing.
Yeah. And mostly, last month accepted. It's been fun and wonderful.
Uh-oh.
I think there's been a weird thing with media and communication and how people get music and stuff, and I think so much of it is about trying to use it as a palliative,
Yes.
right? It's here's the music you grew up with and loved, and we won't play anything new and threatening
Well.
that will make you feel old. And I'm one of those weirdos who finding new music makes me feel young, and turning people on to that makes me feel alive.
Agree.
And I think that we're at cross purposes with a lot of folks that are trying to control you and control your thoughts. And I think music is like literature and film is supposed to do the exact opposite.
Right.
It's supposed to remind you that.
But you have to seek it out.
You have to seek it out or trust somebody who finds it for you.
True.
And like with Spotify and stuff, so many people just kind of pay in a fee and they get stuff handed to them. And I just found out like the other day that like the Billboard 100 charts changed how they compile the data on streams, and they omitted streams where people are listening to music with ads without subscribing, and only count the ones where people subscribe.
Oh, that's shady.
And it's kind of like the SAVE Act. It's kind of like if you only count the votes from people who have a special ID and didn't use mail-in voting or what have you. And it was weird because hip-hop
So do they also no longer? So do they also no longer count plays over the radio? Because those have ads and.
They count those, but plays on the radio are themselves kind of a weird dead zone because
Nobody listens to the radio anymore.
It's the playlists are automated, the DJs are piped in, and so it's kind of sequenced. And who's listening to radio?
Right.
Like radio's dying.
True.
It's gone over to Christian and Latino stations because Latino stations, those folks still listen to the radio. Christian stations obviously operate as a nonprofit, and so they don't have to pay taxes. And so it's just one more way that choices are being taken away. And I think there's such a grievous lack of literacy about how the people selling you what they're selling you culture, want you to do with it or want you to react or not to react.
Or even access it.
Right. If you can access it. And what they give you has an agenda. And and this is the same in the horror genre. And it's been weird seeing like the couple of films that blew up this season rather, that were corporate repackaging of things that were grassroots viral videos. Right. And it goes back to like starting with punk rock in the 70s. Punk rock was sold out, I think, within a year of having been created. When the Sex Pistols signed with EMI and then went over to Virgin Records, they were classed by I think perhaps Fortune magazine as like the entrepreneurs of the year. And so this groundbreaking,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this groundbreaking thing that was supposed to shock and turn over things and restore the kids to being in charge of counterculture, they were ready and waiting, and they picked up punk and they turned it into a packaged thing and sold it back to us.
Yeah, that was the whole thing with the Sex Pistols in the beginning. Was they were basically engineered to sell clothing, weren't they?
I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know about them being listed as like Entrepreneur of the Year.
Yes, because they got a huge signing.
Sex Pistols or the company that signed them were listed as the entrepreneurs?
The Sex Pistols, because they signed with EMI, they took a huge bonus. Yeah, then they shocked them, and EMI said, "We're not putting out your thing," and they pocketed the money and went across the street. But after that, the record labels and Malcolm McLaren and his fashion shop and others were using this thing. They were ready with the accessories. We can sell you your rebellion.
Yes.
Right. And with horror, it's kind of, you need to be on guard. Every scene needs to be on guard for when the Nazis and the other assholes show up. But also, you need to be on guard for the people who want to sell you the thing that appears to be your way out of the establishment, because they will sell you that. Spiritual rebellion is just another commodity.
Yeah.
Unless you diligently police it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been weird and sad to experience, because you can live in your bubble and feel like I'm rebelling against the system. All of my friends that like my posts on Facebook tell me so. Yeah. That we're winning. And
it's like the subprime mortgages of music.
Yes. It's junk bonds of rebellion. And some horror is something genuinely groundbreaking and shocking, and it changes the game. But if you're getting all of that stuff from the same four companies, it's like you're shopping at Hot Topic instead of Pottery Barn. And you can feel like, well, I got my stuff from the Scary Store at the same mall that sells all the beige bullshit. I don't know. Was there an agenda for this? I'm dragging us out in the weeds.
No, you're good.
I was writing.
No, the agenda is just to shoot the shit.
Yeah, basically, I was writing down junk bonds of rebellion because I like that phrase.
Oh. Put it on a t-shirt.
Yes.
Right? That belongs on a t-shirt.
Yes.
All right. I mean, and there's also, I mean, when you're it's kind of inside baseball, but when you're inside a thing and you're working to create it, you have to kind of stand back before you destroy lose your love for the thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after the lockdown and various things that happened during that, I completely suddenly lost my passion for my enjoyment for video games. I couldn't log on to a game without feeling like I'm wasting time that I could be spending creating something. And I was focused on creating stuff to try to get myself out of the problems that I'm dealing with, and found myself losing the love that I had for the thing that lured me into it in the first place. The same love that I'm trying to kindle and share with other people. And so it's a weird and precipitous passage that we're all on as creators and consumers of crazy, weird, dark entertainment.
Yep.
And I sometimes fear that when we, in embracing horror, that you're sometimes, or maybe, and this is the thing I hope to ask other people is, are you aware of what, I mean, speaking to the name of your podcast, Horror Makes Us Happy, are you aware of how it makes you happy? Are you aware of why it makes you happy? And I interviewed Stephen Graham Jones last year for Heavy Metal.
Yes.
And he said something really fascinating to me that's been rattling around in my brain ever since, because I asked him about his passion for writing slasher movie books. And, you know, why do we keep coming back to this when it's kind of a contrivance? I mean, I haven't been to a summer camp in 40 years. I've never seen anybody incur more than a stubbed toe or maybe a bad sunburn at a summer camp. And yet, in horror, there's this rarefied, weird, total contrivance of, yeah, these kids go to a summer camp and then this invincible monster kills them. And it's like, that's not real fear. I'm not really afraid that a hockey mask, a hockey masked monster is going to show up and kill me. I'm afraid that I'm going to get pulled off a plane because of back taxes and sent to El Salvador. And so there's horror. There's you know, the things that are conventionally count as horror, and then there's the things that we're actually afraid of.
Yeah. I mean, there are the things that can actually terrify someone. If you're talking about why do we keep coming back to the classic trope of the camp slasher, then I mean, it's a couple of different ways of looking at that. It's because it is that comfort and that nostalgia you can come back to, but also that's a valid question now because it's 2026 and we've been doing the camp slasher thing for, God, what? 50 years almost now?
50 years.
Two thoughts. I have two thoughts on this. Number one.
Can I finish mine first?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, you know, the younger generation may not even understand the importance or feel the importance of the camp slasher anymore. So it may be possibly time to move on to something else or now still keep that in the vault because nostalgia's sake, I think, me being a millennial.
Sure.
Yeah, it may not even be relatable anymore.
I'm going to disagree to that. So, because just because we're, you know, older and not going to summer camps anymore doesn't mean that summer camps don't exist. There are still kids going to those every day. My second point,
and well, look at what happened in Texas.
Yes, the flood.
That was a summer camp horror story, completely unlike anything the Friday the 13th franchise ever put out.
Yes,
and it was scary.
Yes,
because these kids died at a summer camp, and everybody basically just wiped off their hands and moved on.
Yeah,
and my point about the contrivance nature of slasher films. When I asked Stephen, you know, why do we keep coming back to these things? Because they're not. That's really, really terrifying. It's somehow a more comfortable form of horror. And he said, "Well, it's not about fear."
Yeah.
He said,
"No,
it's about it's about justice." And I kind of was attracted to that, but I was also kind of alarmed by that because the notion that these people are put into a crucible where their personal flaws mandate their deaths.
So
and
it's
when you're not, oh my God, that's so horrible. It's, oh my God, get him.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just about to say. So it's 50-50. Part of it is justice, but it's also justice porn. It's,
sure. Yes.
And that's the second point. I was hang on. So that yes, but so that's the second point I was going to make is, you know, it's not torture porn, but it's like justice porn in that the reason that we have this trope now is it's a lot like porn in that it's a really flimsy premise that doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just get that over with to get me to the killing.
It's the
get
feelings.
Me to the killing. Exactly, Steve.
You watch the thing to get that experience of the thing that you like, and right. And it's also like a justice and survival, I would say. Like survival is a key factor in a lot of slashers too. Like there's always gonna be that final girl or final character that you identify with. But it's those two things mainly, I think, survival and justice.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. But at the same time, I think about if watching other people die gives you satisfaction, what does that say about you?
Yeah.
Because art, I mean, not just in horror, but any entertainment is it's if it's good, if it's doing something good for humanity, it's because it kindles the empathy.
Yeah.
It allows us to step into somebody else's shoes and see what it's like to live their life, and hopefully foster understanding. But I am always worried. I've been worried about horror that deadens empathy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Zombie pictures to me are even more worrisome or troublesome of a trope than slasher films, because it kind of feels like a libertarian paradise. It feels like a world where everybody else is dead. They can't be saved. They're not alive. And
There's no justice system, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. It's not only allowed, it's obligatory to kill anybody who gets in your way when you go shopping.
Yeah.
Right. And I worry about that, because if you make everybody feel like they're the Omega Man, they're the only one who's left alive, then
It's not healthy. It's isolating.
Right. And it's like, even if you're the last human being left alive, are you happier with that? There's always, in like zombie films, going back to Dawn of the Dead, there's always the fun scene where they go shopping.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but it's also self-destructive. I mean, the whole point is that we are social creatures, and we do need society to help us survive in this world. We've gotten now to a point where we've killed off all of the large predators, so things are a little bit safer. But I mean, if you get rid of society and you get rid of something as dumb as penicillin, I mean, or the equivalent.
Right.
So if you got somebody who wants to go out and kill everybody that they see just because they can, because they want their libertarian fantasy, well, one of my favorite quotes about libertarians is that they're like the house cats who are angry but don't understand a single thing about the house that they're living in. It's,
Yes. And it's worrisome because when in the past, when horror blew up in the 50s, when horror blew up in the 80s, it tended to thrive in times when things were materially good. Right? We had security. We didn't feel like there were external or internal threats, and everything was easy. And yet, then it was then that we'd have the opportunity collectively to explore, what are we afraid of happening? We're afraid of these strangers coming in.
So what I think you're talking about there is more of a societal us versus them, whereas in some cases now it's become a more personal fuck everybody.
Yes, and I feel like anything that tells us it's down to you, it's just down to you, that there's no collective action. Collectives are full of idiots and weaklings who will drag you down, and you can only rely on yourself. And I feel like if you're telling people that with media, you're destroying the most fundamental thing that we're going to need to survive whatever's coming next.
Yeah.
And telling you only you can face it, or a hero will rise, and it's that kind of egotism.
Only you can prevent zombie outbreaks.
Only you can prevent the apocalypse.
Yes, only you. You are the chosen one.
Yes.
And it's weird, and it's funny because like my favorite film, and most people my age will cite this one as their top 5, The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a survival horror, and it does not play into any of those easy tropes, but it also shows collective action breaking down. As a group, they can't face this thing, and it comes down to one guy, but even he's not the guy. And The Thing in particular feels like a standout because it points out, it dares to say, maybe you're not going to win. Maybe you're not going to survive. What are you going to do? How are you going to face the inevitable? And
I like those kind of stories.
And I think, I think we as a culture, in the West or the United States, what have you, we're hardwired for success. We're hardwired to die chasing success.
Yeah.
But we're not hardwired to face gracefully failure.
No, not true.
We don't know how to deal with it.
No,
and we don't talk about it. And we'll be supportive of each other, like the writing and art community. Everybody's very very positivist. You have to keep moving, never give up,
never surrender.
And as a metaphor for survival in life, when we're facing real conflict, when we're facing real threats, when we're facing the inevitable, our own mortality, we kind of have a huge blind spot because it's not acceptable. You die fighting for success.
Well, I think what you're kind of getting at is that there's some people have more of an innate desire for creation, and some people have a more innate desire for destruction.
What is your resting state?
Yes. I mean, and not even just in horror, because it's like horror used to be a weird outlier, right? We were. Why the hell would anybody want to focus on that? And yet, mainstream entertainment in the last 2-3 generations, you see a lot of these movies where average person is secretly an elite contract killer, and in mainstream entertainment, the rage to see each other die, or the rage to valorize being able to kill each other, has become a thing, to the point where you at least I kind of want to interrogate that. How do we get to this point where we're fantasizing about that the ideal life is the life where you can kill any motherfucker who looks at you cockeyed?
I actually read something not too long ago that kind of touched on that. They were talking about the value of the middle in terms of left-right politics stuff, is that moderates are the glue that keeps everything together. And if you get rid of the center ground, where if everybody comes to grandma's house for turkey dinner, once grandma dies, it's you against the the asshole uncle. So
well, and good analogy. I think it's a valuable marketing strategy to convince every sheep in the fold that they're really a wolf. And I wonder if that's the best way going into things, because we've had these boom and bust cycles with horror and with various elements of popular culture, whether it's a counterculture thing and everybody feels like they're the outsider, versus whether it's a very conformist kind of a thing. And we're reaching a terminal phase where we no longer have the luxury of booms and busts. The next bust could break us as a civilization.
Yeah.
So how do we counter that? And how does the entertainment
does it need to be countered? It might be a fucking good thing.
This town needs an enema.
Yes, indeed it does. Indeed it does. And we're reaching a point where we're going to break down. And if we can break down and course correct, then we can maybe make society into what it always should have been. But if we don't,
break down first, though.
If we continue to adhere to these fantasies where I am the Omega Man, everybody else is not real but me, then these solipsistic fantasies could lead us off the cliff. And it's not a cliff that another boom will save us from. So, I mean, I try to be mindful of that in all of the work that I put out into the world, because when I look at entertainment, highbrow and lowbrow entertainment, I find myself thinking more and more that there's two kinds of entertainment, and the good kind is the kind that reminds you that life is short, and order is only what we collectively agree it is, and we'll hold on to. And bad entertainment is the kind, whatever form it might take, is the kind that tells you, relax. This show starts to pick up in season 4. You know, you just binge through it,
I like that example.
and it'll be good. But that kind of entertainment is telling you that you have time, that you have all the time in the world. As long as you can keep paying your subscription,
Yes.
then you can keep enjoying these things and feel like you're really living. And I feel like those kinds of opportunities to put yourself in a bubble and look on at everything, at the world falling apart as just another reality show. It's a temptation.
But I'm in my bubble, and I have my my door to delivery food service, and I have my streaming shows, and I can just sit here and put my clicks into the internet so that they make their money off of me, and I'm in my bubble. It's fine. It's
right,
sedentary.
Right. But yet that kind of life comes with its own little adventures. I mean, when my laptop died, and I bought a new one. It got delivered to the wrong house. And so I had to hunt around amongst my neighbors to find who has my laptop.
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Right, and that's the hero's journey now that we're set upon and supposed to enjoy. And if you can get your product that Amazon didn't bother to deliver to the right house, then you won the day.
You know what, though? You bring up an interesting point there. Like, our typical happy ending stories doing a disservice to society in making us more complacent with life. Like, should we have more original, just straight up no happy ending stories? Because that not only inspires people to get out and do more things because time is short, and also it just inspires people to expect
two words,
not things to not go perfectly.
Two words, age appropriate.
The murder.
Age appropriate. Yeah.
that's the problem.
We're gonna have Disney stories ending up like fucking the
original Cinderella.
Deer,
the original Cinderella.
Yes, and they leave you feeling, you turn off the movie and you feel like we won, or you close the book and you feel like
when you're a child, when you're developing, sure, you can have that story that says stay sedentary, just let life is good, be calm, but
don't worry, a hero will rise.
Yes.
But I thought of this a lot because one of my mentors, he's my mentor. He's my funky Dutch uncle, John Skip, whom I grew up reading, and he showed me that a writer could be as cool as a rock star. But like after The Wolf of Wall Street came out. And he was really angry in reacting to that film because it showed this guy who did nothing good ever and learned nothing from his experience,
and how that character can also be a rock star.
Triumphed. And Skip was really angry at that film, and I went back to it because of his reaction, and I thought, no, this is what we need, because you should come out of this experience, if it's worth making an experience that people will see in theaters, that it should anger them and frustrate them that these evil, awful people prosper, and if you showed them getting crushed and showed the system working like it doesn't in real life, then you come away thinking, yeah, the system works. We beat those evil guys.
Nothing to fix here. Everything's fine.
Everything's great. Tomorrow will be wonderful. And it's not. You didn't.
But does it also maybe have a negative effect in that it inspires people to take up a life of professional crime to get rich themselves?
Well, sure, and you can look at tropes like and shows like The Punisher and stuff that are trying to lay out a cautionary message about that if you could take revenge on everybody that screwed you over, then you'd be the hero and you'd fix everything. But in what world does that actually work?
Ours? Because, I mean, hang on. So, I mean, there are some people who quite literally need Rod Serling to come in at the end and go, don't do this. This is not an instruction manual.
Right. And yet you see, like, Punisher decals on vigilante on vigilantes pickup trucks and shit like that, and you see this the authoritarian assholes are grabbing onto this thing and going, no, I'm the Maverick, I am the one who's saving us.
Yeah, it's that solipsistic fantasy again, like you said. So I am the one alone, me, only I can save us.
Right. And that's a treacherous path to walk, because you have to. I mean, going back to like Oedipus, you could take the wrong lessons from this story. You could think, yeah, kill your dad, fuck your mom. That's living life right. And I think. I worry about about what I'm putting out, that people could possibly take the wrong lessons from it, and thus I work double strong to try to leaven that, to try to show you, no, don't be like this guy, don't be like this vigilante. It's seemingly a very easy and satisfying thing to be able to take revenge and be able to kill all the bastards, and yet even if you know who the real bastards are, you're probably kidding yourself. But I don't know. Am I bumming you guys out?
No. So there's really only one question that we tend to ask on these, which is to bring up the summary of the call, the long form interview that we did 3 years ago, and say that in your case, for example, the topics that came up were power dynamics, stoicism, and peak experiences. And then we ask,
sounds like what we discussed so far.
Exactly.
So it sounds like you're still on the same track then.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on the same track, racing against myself. I mean, and we all are, but we think we're racing against others that we encounter on social media and stuff, and so we feel like we have to work harder because this other guy got a thing, and we want that thing.
Yeah, I want that thing too.
Right, and it's it would be wonderful if we could all collectively share that thing, but it doesn't get to happen. And
careful, no, that's the C word talk.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and like with
as I drink my red mug,
as a creator, as a creator, you feel like you have, on the one hand, you kind of have an enormous amount of power, but you kind of have no power because nobody realizes that your thing is amazing and they need it. It's the most worthless thing ever. You made up some shit. Get the fuck out of here.
When you put it that way, it's interesting. Being a creative is a just extreme dichotomy like that, because you have extraordinary power to. If you have a story that's a metaphor or something you want to get across to the populace, you have that option.
Right.
But it has to be noticed. Has to hit that star. So
Yes.
it's both at the same time extremely powerful and extremely ineffective.
Yes. I mean, nobody gives a shit about your thing until they realize it's magic and it's more powerful
But hey,
than
you
the
write the
Bible.
thing, and if one person reads the thing and they like it, then mission accomplished, right?
Right.
Also
Right.
that.
Right. And like for the last 31 years, I've vended at Comic Con, and Comic Con isn't like a San Diego Comic Con. It's not just a convention; it's a
Oh, it's
city.
huge. Yeah,
It,
yeah. It's
it's
basically like
New
the
York
California
City.
Dragon Con.
Right. And so uh, we vend in the back of small press. And so people who have seen everything that Hollywood and Silicon Valley has to offer, they're just trying to get to the bathroom, and then
Stumble
we
across your
ambush
table.
them. Right, and we ambush them, and they're like, "I just want to pee, man." And then they see
that's
our
your
thing.
angle. That's
Yes,
good.
and if we target them correctly, and we only go after people wearing black T-shirts. If you're wearing a Green Lantern T-shirt, we're going to let you go to the bathroom because you probably don't
Don't
have
say
it.
that. Now everyone knows the secret.
And that's the secret.
Hey, if you're brave enough to wear a Green Lantern T-shirt, go for it.
Yes, if you want to get to the bathroom, wear a Green Lantern T-shirt. We will probably not hassle you. But if you're wearing a Tales from the Crypt T-shirt or something like that, and you realize, oh, that's our meat walking by,
That's our meat.
we tell you about our thing. And I've seen it happen so many times where these people who just wanted to go to the bathroom all of a sudden lock in and they're like, all right, tell me more. Yes. And you can find your people. But it's what we're offering is a very marginalized thing because it's horror that tells you, yeah, you're tinier than an ant. You probably can't change anything. All you can hope to do is bear witness. And but the people for whom that triggers them getting out their wallet are the folks who recognize that these triumphal fantasies are dangerous and perhaps useless. And they're not just looking for solace or comfort or a magical beach towel they can tie around their neck and jump off their garage and fly.
It was the couch. Thank you.
Right, but it's thank you, JD Vance. But that instill it's a bitter pill, and when you see somebody react to that, it is a wonderful thing because what you're telling them is, yes, you're not going to save the universe. The universe can't be saved. The universe is fundamentally broken. It does not care about you. It will move on, and some other hero will rise. But when people respond to that, I think it's not like giving them bionic upgrades or anything, but it gives them, and certainly not a false toxic hope, but it gives them the sense that we are here for this, and maybe we weren't meant to win, but in witnessing,
It gives them a reprieve in a way because you're not striving for that 100% perfection. Have to save the universe. If things fall apart, that's okay.
Right. And adapting to that, adapting to a change where you're not meant to win and score all of the bonuses, but how to survive it and how to care for each other.
It can also be, how can I say this? I was going to use the word temporal, but what I mean is that different people have different thresholds for different emotions at various points. Like there are some people who will just listen to, something that makes them want to cry 24/7 their entire life. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to.
No.
There's times to listen to something that's going to make you angry. There's time to listen to something that's going to make you happy.
Yes.
But there's also a time to wrestle with grief. There's time for all of those things.
Right. And I think we need to be on guard for mimics, for things that seem to offer us care and strength to get through the day. And with not just horror, but any sort of entertainment, right? The ideal kind of entertainment is escapist entertainment that somehow still empowers you to withstand or overcome the stuff that you wanted to get away from, that made you go to this weird fantasy thing instead. And so the ideal escapist entertainment empowers you to survive the thing that you didn't want to deal with, that you wanted to get away from. And I think for the last 2 years, year and a half, I've been an editor at Heavy Metal.
You mentioned Heavy Metal earlier. You mean Heavy Metal Magazine?
Yeah,
that's right.
That is
Those
awesome.
guys.
I love that magazine.
Everybody loves that magazine. And yet it's been passed around like a Magic the Gathering card on eBay, and so it finds itself in different hands. Mm-hmm. And the folks who have it right now are committed to. Well, they want to run prose in their magazine, which is kind of like selling coffee in a crack house.
Yeah.
But I think it's vital and valuable, even as prose, not just comics, because words can do stuff that no illustrated stuff and or movies or anything else can do. Yeah. And I appreciate that commitment on their part, but trying to find the thing that it was humbling. Mm-hmm. When I first started doing this, my first thought was, I'm going to get inundated with hundreds of submissions every week from people, because people love heavy metal. But maybe they do, and maybe they don't understand what heavy metal does, because heavy metal was the epitome and is the epitome of get me the fuck off this planet. I want to get out of here. I want to go somewhere else.
It's escapism. Yeah.
Right. It's the purest form of escapism with this huge attitude. And it was weird because when I announced on Facebook and Substack and Instagram and everywhere else, okay, so yeah, I'm editing for heavy metal. Yeah, the door's open. I got 6 submissions. And a lot of that speaks to how far out of even the marginalized mainstream of indie horror. And most of those stories were regular horror stories. And I was thinking, the whole point of this magazine, in particular, if not of all escapist entertainment, is take us somewhere else. Take us somewhere else, and hopefully that somewhere else that you go to will somehow give you what you need to live and thrive in the world that you actually exist.
Yeah, usually a lesson. It was almost like Tales from the Crypt-ish, with the fact that it was an otherworldly story, but it had a lesson in the end. They were just
right,
wild food.
But like Tales from the Crypt was very much set in our world, but it also the really transgressive part was it pointed out that anybody, your Cub Scout troop leader, could be capable of doing inhuman and monstrous things to rectify this situation.
Yeah.
You know, the wife whose husband is so obsessed with toy trains, and she ends up dismembering him and making him into a landscape where these trains are going in and out of his pooper. Right, and so at that time in the 50s, that was genuinely dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? If I was running a culture, I would want those guys under lock and key too, because that points out how close even the most healthy, normal, human, mainstream person is to committing not just murder, but like set piece murder, like Hannibal murder, like turn them into a tourist bureau display.
Fish.
And I think heavy metal picked up the baton in the 70s for having, yes, you could get sucked to an alien planet and have an 18-inch dong and and save the universe, but what I mean, like the Den series by Richard Corbin, it started out like that very triumphal adolescent fantasy of being remade as this monster kick-ass hero, but it also meandered into these years of wondering, what is heroism even for? Right? What is who are we trying to save? And does saving the universe or saving the planet or what have you mean that you've saved yourself and come to understand yourself?
Yeah.
And these things wander into places that maybe as a mass communicating audience might not have the time for. But I think, like, right now, the urgency is on escapist fiction to provide answers. Look at, like, the rage and dissatisfaction with Star Wars and the MCU stuff and the DCEU stuff, and why are these dreams not satisfying us? And it's because you come out of the theater or you close the comic book that costs you $5.95 for a 32-page comic, and you it's a wet electric blanket. It jolts you, but it does not actually satisfy and warm you. And I think I know I'm not going to use my own I haven't seen it kind of a thing to not acknowledge attempts to address these issues, but I don't feel like I think what they're trying to do with horror and comics and entertainment itself right now, the corporate strategy is, well, let's find a more diverse audience or diverse creator cabal to create the same shit. And so they want a more diverse crew of creators, which is wonderful, but they're trying to bend them towards, please lend your shoulder to holding up the same dying tropes that aren't really serving.
I don't think the issue is with the dying tropes. I mean, for example, Star Wars. I mean, the whole problem that Star Wars has had is that they keep trying to shove 3 movies down into one, and so their pacing is all fucked.
Oh yeah, especially with the whole, like, we're going to do a new movie every year. At least one every year.
No, that's even worse, because then they're trying to do 3 movies every year and shove them all down into one. I mean,
exactly.
Right, and it's all one-time thing, and maybe that speaks to the breakdown of the media.
I don't think it's that at all. I just think that they're trying to, every time I've watched a Star Wars movie in the last 10 years or so, they just absolutely rushing through all of the characterization to try to make it into an action film because like it's like they're trying to make something that's just wall to wall action and completely skipping all the characterization shit that would justify the choices that the characters are making, without actually explaining or giving the audience any time.
Don't forget fan service and toy product placement.
Right on top of all
squeeze
that.
it in there too.
And that's why, like you were talking about the diversity stuff, like you're right, it's not going to help the writing because the management is telling the writers do this, do this, do this, but they're just shoving them through a pipeline way too fast.
Yeah, well, and trying to homogenize it so that they don't face controversy. I mean,
That too, yeah.
You have hopefully the value of bringing in more diverse creators is that you get more diverse stories.
Yes,
and
that's the idea.
You
Ideally,
right, and
I mean, they fished us all with thinking that Finn was going to become a Jedi.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and that was then that
Did
was
he die?
kind of a
I don't even remember. That's how
No.
forgettable his character was.
No, I don't think he died, but I didn't see the last movie. That's how much I disliked the whole thing. But
No, his arc totally.
yeah, yeah, they set up the first film, and then after the first film, they completely neutered his character.
Yes, and rendered him invalid as far as advancing the story.
Yeah.
And if you're going to bring different people in to stand for these tropes or to create these tropes, then hopefully you're opening up the door to different kinds of stories. And they tried to shoehorn this more diverse character into the machine, and yeah, he was right to get pissed off. He was right, and anybody who felt like, okay, this was telling me that it's. I mean, look at what Splatterpunk did in the '80s with retooling not just what kind of horror happens, but who can be the final girl, right? Who can be the person who survives this and demonstrates the characteristics
The
that
Virgin,
you need
clearly,
to survive.
always.
And if those things are pushed into a place where they're trying to make these diverse characters, frankly, yeah, I mean, Hollywood seems like it still continues to exist now, so that it offers a business model that any idiot thinks they can second guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hollywood's completely out of ideas. No, they're not out of ideas. They're brimful of ideas. But what shit will you watch?
Mm-hmm. Hollywood isn't out of ideas. The algorithm is only accepting certain ideas.
Right.
Well, it's what ideas will get you into the seat, and then we don't give a shit whether or not we actually follow through on them, because you've already paid your ticket price. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Right, and so yeah, when people say, yeah, no, I don't like the way this retcon is working, I'll go see it, but, and it's like, well, yeah, no, we don't care about your butt. We care about you getting your $19 out of your ass, and if we have it, we don't care to have a philosophical conversation with you because we got your $19.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating because, like, whenever a horror movie or something blows up in Hollywood, they're about selling tickets. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not about selling an agenda. and literature kind of follows in that same model because the same corporate douchebags are running both things.
Well,
And when they're doing it, they want to sell you something that will make you feel hot, make you feel like the center of the universe, make you feel like
It's the feelings.
things are changing.
well, on the topic of selling, we've got 2 minutes left. You want to let people know what you're currently selling?
Oh gosh, golly, yes, absolutely. My new book, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars is a reissue of my first story collection from 2009, and it's I'm really, really proud of it. But what I'm most proud of and most hoping to sell is a book I wrote called New Tomorrow, which is available from Oddness Press, and it's an alternate history 1930s set science fiction novel where a tycoon invents teleportation.
Okay.
And it's the idea of, if the old Chinese proverb, if the right man uses or the wrong man uses the right means will work in the wrong way. And so it's about technology accelerating, but when it's accelerating in the wrong direction, who steps up and what does it cost them?
Okay.
And so it's about, like pulp era superheroes, but they have to sacrifice. And it's I think this was speaking to one of my most my bête noirs. Speaking of Black Dog,
We have less than 60 seconds.
okay.
Elevated quick time.
that you, in order to be a hero, you have to be willing to sacrifice yourself, and you can't hope that you will get retconned or resurrected just because people want to see you do that.
Until the next episode.
Until the next episode.
Which I guess is a perfect way to end this episode.
There you go.
All right, I'll see you guys in another 3 years.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Cheers.
Bless you, gentlemen.
You as well.